let's get started and then people will continue to come in. Buenas tardes a todos. Espero no estar interrumpiendo su hora del almuerzo en algunas partes de Latinoamérica, pero tenemos al grupo de Techstreet Enterprise. Como saben, es una empresa que fue adquirida por la Sociedad Americana de Ingeniería Mecánica. Y tenemos hoy a un grupo de líderes de Techstreet. En particular está David Gritzmacher, que es el gerente de ventas a nivel global. A Mike Visser, que es gerente de producto senior para Techstreet. Y también tenemos a Matt Fraser, que es el coordinador de experiencias a cliente. Vamos a tener una mezcla de presentación entre una presentación normal y también una visualización de la plataforma Techstreet Enterprise. Los dejo ustedes con el equipo de Techstreet. Techstreet team, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Hey, thank you, Gabriel. Hello, everybody. My name is David Gritzmacher. I'm head of sales for Techstreet. I'm looking forward to the partnership that we have with ITMS and actually, giving you a good overview of Techstreet, little brief history, and then more importantly, really dive in to see a demo of our platform and then really have a chance to take any questions that you guys have. We look forward to, Matt and Michael handle the demo moving forward. So what I'd like to briefly kind of go over is Techstreet. I'm not going to go into, this is a very busy slide, but I think it's very important to know Techstreet has been in business for 25 years. And recently we were acquired by ASME, the American Society of Mechanical Engineers, to be a subsidiary, their new for-profit subsidiary for ASME. So that happened in November of 2020. Very excited about that partnership. A lot more to come. It means a lot more investment in Techstreet, in our platform, and where we go moving forward. So really excited about where that's going to take us moving forward. A little overview of Techstreet. Right now we have about 550,000 industry codes and standards that we can offer in enterprise platform. We have 130,000 plus Techstreet enterprise users all around the world, 150 plus standards publishers that we can offer in our platform. And once again, we've been in the business for 25 years supporting global customers. So why would someone pick Techstreet? So these are really our key differentiators on what customers are telling us of why they like Techstreet in the market. The first one is ease of use. It's an easy platform to get in and find what you're looking for. On-demand usage reporting, we want to be transparent. We want you to have the data at your fingertips to know what you're using and what you're not using. So we give you the ability to go in there and actually run usage reports. As an administrator, you don't have to come to us to ask to run those reports. They're at your fingertips. We believe in customized content packages, really paying for what you need. And we have the usage to support that you can really hone in on, hey, I don't need this package over here because we're only using 10 of the package. Let's just pay for the 10 that we really need. And then the last one is our responsiveness. Whether it be support, whether it be onboardings, adding content, we are very, very responsive to basically our customers' needs. We like to pride ourselves that we respond faster than anyone else in the market that's competing against us. So that is something that we will continue to do to add support, whether it's in the US, we have a team, and then over in Asia Pacific, we have another team to be able to handle a lot of those off-hour situation that's not in the US. This is just a brief kind of view of what the usage reports would look like. I won't spend a lot of time on that. And then we're ready for the demo. So really just hopefully that's a good overview of Techstreet, where we are. I can always answer questions at the very end here after Matt and Mike have a chance to demo. But we'll go ahead and jump right into the demonstration. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. Yep, thank you, David. I'll get my screen pulled up here for us. Thank you once again, everyone, for your time and for having us here today. We're very excited to be here. I'm going to give you a brief overview of our enterprise platform, and then I'll pass it over to my colleague, Mike Visser, who will give us a deeper look at some of the administrative functions of the platform itself. Once you're logged into the platform, you're taken to a landing page that looks just like this. We've really got our platform broken down into different areas to make it very easy to navigate. We've got some tabs and tools up here along the top, a search for a document bar, very big, right in the middle of the screen, and then some additional information below the search for a document bar. To find a document within Techstreet Enterprise, it's very simple. You can do a search for a document by a document number, a document title, or even some keyword searches. In this case, I'll search for a particular document that I am after and execute this search for B31.1. You'll see my search results return to 8 documents for B31 that are current subscribed documents. When you do a search initially, we will show you and your users the documents that are part of your subscription first. We store results by relevance, but a user can always change that to their liking. You can sort by document number or a document title, or the relevance sort is determined on how you use the platform yourself. In this case, did a pretty good job, put B31.1 right at the top, but you can see some other similar results that are displayed. For this document, if I would like to track it, I could add it to what we call a list. You can see up here, bookmark to Matt's list. To track this document, it's as simple as clicking the bookmark icon right next to the title. I've now added that to my list, and I'm going to get an extra layer of tracking through the enterprise platform. I can add notes about a document right here from the search page. When a user adds a note, we assume that they want to share that note with other users on the subscription. If that's not the case, a user can always mark their note as private. The next time that this document is searched out, this add notes would switch to view notes so that you're aware that there's a note for you to review. We also can see some information about the document before we dive right in. We can see if the document has any anti-approvals or red lines. Those redlined editions will show you and your users the changes between the prior edition and the current edition. You can see the publication date, publisher, ISBN information, and any historical versions that may be available on the document. These historical versions and the redline versions are included as part of your subscription here with Techstreet. If I click on the title, it'll take me into the document details page where it's going to give me different viewing options for the document. I could download a baseline file here or a redline file. You'll also see language over here as something that you could search for. We do provide you with any language of the file that we have as well. A user can download a document simply by clicking on the download button, or they could right-click the download button for saving the document to their machine for later viewing. Drag this document over here since it's open up on my other screen. Sorry about that. Just wanted to pop that open real quick so we could see it's a fully functioning PDF document. This has some really nice bookmarking throughout, or there's also thumbnails, or a Control F on a Windows machine to bring up the find feature for a user to search a document as well. Below the download buttons, you'll see different document versions that are available. We'll let you know the date that each version was released, and we'll give you some additional information. Was it a new release, or was it an amendment to a current version? On the left-hand side, we'll link out to any related documents that are part of your subscription. And then historical versions are also listed here on the left-hand side. If I wanted to view 2014, I could click on this 2014 here on the left-hand side. It's going to take me to the 2014 edition. I now am told that it's a historical version that I'm looking at. And then I have the different options available for download here. If I wanted to execute another search, I always can with the search for a document bar right here at the top of the screen. Or if I click on home or the enterprise logo, I can reset myself back to the home page to redo my search. You can also use the search platform, as I mentioned, to do some keyword searching. Keyword searching is a great resource for our users to find documents that are of interest to them in their related fields that may or may not be on their subscription. You see here, we've got 65 documents that are current on our subscription. We may want to apply some additional some additional filters there, like publisher or publication year, even document status or language. If I wasn't finding what I was looking for, we can also use the search modifier here, uncheck the on subscription modifier. That will redo the search, and then it's going to display us all the options that Techstreet carries that match our search, not just what's a part of our subscription. You can see here now, there's 711 documents that match our term. Some of these are not subscribed. In this case, this not subscribed version, I've added it to my list. So even documents that are not part of your subscription, your users are able to add as part of their list to get an extra layer of tracking. Maybe in this example here, I've got a printed edition on my desk and I just want to know if and when that document does update. Building lists are very easy. It's done here under our list tab. Everyone gets their own private list that's already created for them when they first join with Techstreet Enterprise. So that's good to go if a user wants to start adding documents to a list for tracking purposes. We also have other types of lists. The list that's created is a private list, but a user could also create a list as a group list or a public list. If a list is created as a public list, it's going to share that list with all users on your subscription. It's going to essentially make that discoverable and let your colleagues find your list, and they could then subscribe to it and get that layer of tracking for those documents as well. Or you could create a group list, which is going to let you add specific individuals to your list. So any number of ways that you can either keep your list private, share it with a number of users, or share it with everybody as part of your subscription. We have a tab here for updates. Before I go into that, if I draw your attention to the top here, subscription updates, it says I have 988 subscription updates. If I click on this link here, you'll see that that resets down to 0. And this is now showing me the 988 updates since the last time I looked. So this feature here is essentially a running tally for our users that lets them know documents that have updated as part of their subscription since the last time that they checked this area. You could download this report as an Excel file or apply some additional publisher filters using the drop-down arrow. We'll give you a lot of information about what's going on with your update. We'll tell you the date that the update took effect. Was it a new document, a change to a document, the publisher? Very importantly, we'll link back out to that new version so that you're able to quickly get to that and download it and move on with your day. And then we give you a little bit of a description about what's going on. Why was this added? This was added as part of a product set that I subscribed to, or in this case, you can see that the 21 edition is replacing the 2013 reaffirmed in 2018 edition. Subscription updates tab here will let us generate that same report that we just saw, but we can add some of our own criteria. Maybe we're only interested in change documents from ASME, and we want to know from the last month. We can run that as a report, and we can see here there's nothing on our updates that match what we were looking for. So out of those 988, maybe nothing applied to us. You could also set this up to have these reports emailed to you automatically, and we refer to those as an alert. To create an alert, you just pick how often you want to be emailed, daily, weekly, or monthly. Do you want to know about new documents, change documents, or both from all of your publishers, or you can even pick a specific publisher here to be alerted on. Once you've created your alerts, they will be listed down here. They're hyperlinked, so I can quickly run those again if I would like. I can delete any of these if I'm no longer interested. You can see the next time that I'm going to be alerted and the number of updates that are currently on that alert that's coming to me. Another great thing about Techstreet Enterprise and our updates is even if a user chooses not to use any of these methods, when a user downloads a document using a username and password, we track that via our usage reporting. And that tells us that that document is important to your user. And we will email them, even if a document that they've downloaded updates, if they don't use any of these lists or update tabs as well. Search history, we'll still just track the searches that you've done on your platform. You can see all my past search history here. I can delete any of these terms if I no longer want these here. They're hyperlinked again for ease of access. If I want to quickly run any of these searches, I can click on the link to search them again. One of my favorite features about this search results tab is the ability for you to bookmark alerts. So we did that steel alloy search and we looked across all the documents that Techstreet carry. We can see that that search is listed here now. We see that we ran that once. There were 711 results. We have the option now to bookmark this search. And you'll see here that I've got a few other searches that have been bookmarked. Once they are bookmarked, I have the option to be emailed daily, weekly, or monthly, anytime there are new results that match my search. And we can actually see this in practice here with my piping search. It's telling me since the last time I looked at this back in July, there's 297 new results that match. If I click to view, it's going to take me to see those 297 new results. So this is a great way to use our platform as a bit of a research tool as well. The Browse tab here is going to allow you and your users to browse the different catalogs that are part of your subscription. You can see all my different catalogs over here on the left. If I click into a particular publisher, it's going to give me the option to view everything that I have from them. In this case, I have 102 products. Maybe I want to narrow that down a little bit. Maybe I'm interested in piping standards. I can click on this piping subgroup and it's going to show me now the piping standards available through ASME. You can see I've gone through and added some of these to my bookmarks already. Maybe now I want to go into a different publisher and explore the content that we have from there. Again, you can see all the products, or you have the ability to drill down further by subgroups for most publishers. Users do have a profile that they would be able to edit certain things like communication preferences or search settings. There is a help button that's available anytime that a user needs help. It is on-page help, so we're on the home page. It's giving us help related to the homepage dashboard. If I were to go into list again though and click on help, you'll see it's giving me some help related to the list that we're trying to create. Another thing that you'll see here is our customer care phone numbers and email address. These are prioritized as part of our subscription service. If you're a subscription user and need some support, these phone numbers or email address are going to put you to the front of the line. The hours of operation for our US team, but as David mentioned, we also have a team in Australia. So really most times, day or night, Monday through Friday, we have a team here to support you and your users. This is also where a user can find information about the administrators on their subscription or any tools that might be required as part of their subscription. We do have the ability to switch to a French language interface currently. We are in the works for adding some additional languages in the future. This will change the platform language. It's not going to change any of the language of the content itself. But for those users that are maybe not English speakers, maybe Spanish speakers, for example, we hope to have that available soon to translate the platform as well. Below the search for document bar, this is the area that we really refer to as the homepage. It's broken up into 3 different categories: the subscription area, message board, and the activity area. This subscription area is going to be all about your subscription as a whole. So you can see my company's logo is listed here. I have the ability to view the subscription details. This will let me see information like the different publishers on my subscription. I could view all of my products or download the product list as an Excel file. I can view my administrators again, or find out any information about my subscription features that I might have set up. There is a user guide that's available to everyone. I'm also logged in here as an administrator, so I'm also getting access to this administrator guide or this quick link to usage reporting, which Mike will talk about more in just a moment. Below that, we have the popular documents. These are documents that are being used across your subscription, the most popular ones. It's a top 5 list, but you can always expand that list here by clicking View Popular Documents. And then you have the additional tools that may be required as part of your subscription. I'm going to go over to the right-hand side, the activity side. This is very similar to the subscription side, except this is going to be about how each user is using the platform. So you can see my name, my location, and my last login date are listed here. My most popular documents are listed here. Again, I can expand that out. My search history, and any list that I may have created. In the middle area, the message board area, where I've got Welcome to Techstreet Enterprise. Again, because I'm an administrator, I have the option to edit or delete this message. But this is real estate for our subscription administrators to provide messaging to their users. Below that is some information about recent updates and information about the enterprise platform. Recent updates or a quick demo, a live training session sign up link. We also have training videos that are available for users that might want some additional support. Then a user can also visit the help center if they would like, rather than the on-page help. We've got categories. A user could search the help center or those popular help topics. And then again, our contact information, including the ability to chat with a member of our customer care team by clicking this chat box. Fill out this form, click chat now, and you can even instant message with a member of our customer care team. With that, that was my overview of the platform. I'd like to turn this over now to Mike Visser to go ahead and give us an overview of the administration functions. Mike?
Thanks, Matt. It's a nice overview of the user experience. I think as everybody can see, Techstreet Enterprise is an easy platform for users to use and find the standards that are important to their work, get those standards, and do what they need to do with them. Let me share my screen. Okay, hold on just a second. All right. Can you all see Matt, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. So here we are in the administration tab. As Matt I am also an administrator in a Techstreet account or subscription. And I clicked on the administration link. That's a link that only administrators are going to see. And it gives me an access to a list of navigation for the tools that are available to me as an administrator to manage the subscription and the content and the users that I have on the subscription for my organization. So we start with an overview. Gives you a start date and end date for your subscription term. Many customers have been with us for many years. Gives you a list of all your publishers, like on the subscription details page Matt showed, that's available to regular users. I can view all products. That's going to pull up a search result that shows all of the products on my subscription. It can be 10 documents, 100 documents, 1,000 documents, just depends on your organization's needs. I can also download my product list as a CSV file. I can open that up in a spreadsheet program. It's going to have links to all the documents and metadata about the documents on my subscription. Information about file open if that's appropriate for your subscription. There's a single copy purchasing guide here. So we have basically incorporated an e-commerce engine into the platform so that you can enable it so that your users can purchase copies of documents on their subscription. And building blocks are also something that some customers might have as well. Let's talk about building blocks a minute. If you have building blocks on your subscription, it's a way for users to request documents that from a publisher for whom you've purchased building blocks. It's a way to purchase documents in advance and add them as you need them. So here's a request from a document for a document from one of my users as a building block, and I can reject it or I can approve it, the request, And if I approve it, the document will be added to the subscription, made available to the user who requested it and the other users on the sub, and they can come back and ask, or they'll get an email with giving them access to the document. We have a feature called Document Repository. This is something that you can add on to your subscription. It's a way to add your own documents to your subscription. So if you have internal interpretations of a standard or internal standards that you've developed that you want to make available to your users, you can use our Document Repository feature to make those documents available within our system to your users, and they can search and find and discover those documents and download them. Or they can link out to a resource in your, say, SharePoint site, where you might provide access to documents you don't want to upload into our system, but you want them to be discoverable for your users who are looking for standards. So I can create a document, I add a document title, a document description, it will create the record for me. That record becomes searchable in the database for your users and your users only. And I can download or link to documents that way. And I'll show you what one of those records looks like in a minute. The other thing that you can do with Document Repository is it enables you to add a layer of customized metadata to your content in your subscription. So you can add specific pieces of metadata, of information, of detail to document records that you've created or document records that Techstreet has created and put into the system. And let me show you what I mean. So I have added a field of data called internal expert on the standard. And so I have added a user or two that I can search for and pull up results because I've added this information that Bill Bixby is an expert on a handful of standards in my system. So first, here's a document I've added. It's a background on concrete that I've created in my subscription. It's only available to users of my subscription. I can download the document that's related to it that I've uploaded. I've added a link that'll take me out to a website. And here's my metadata. Internal expert on this standard, Bill Bixby. Company adoption date, 1/13/2021. Was it reviewed by the QA team? Yes. So as a document administrator, I can come in and add this additional metadata or delete it. So these are, as I mentioned, these are all additional details that I've added to this document in my subscription. So I can go to edit this document. And I can change the metadata if I want to. And these are all fields that I've set up. They're not fields that Techstreet created. They're fields that I set up as the administrator for use in relation to content on my subscription. And you can see the value of it because I can do a search for Bill Bixby and find that person and find the documents on which he's an expert and reach out to him if I need to. Also, here's an ASME document. This is a document that, a record that Techstreet created and is in the system. The document is on my subscription, so I can download it. I also have Bill as the expert on this document. So another user could find this at my company, reach out to Bill with questions because he's the internal expert on this standard. You can also add tags. So if I wanted to edit the additional details, I could add a tag. And there's an existing tag for project 457D. So we're just going to pretend that I have this project that we're working on, right? And now I've tagged it. So if I do a search for project 457D, this one might not come up yet, but my other document that I've tagged with that will come up. It highlights the tag here. Okay, so it comes up in my search results, so I can search for that project. I can also navigate down in my tags. So we talked about, or rather Matt talked about, the search filters you can use earlier. You can also use tags as search filters. So I can click on project 457D and find all the documents in my subscription that have been tagged with that label. I also have user administration available to me. So here I can manage users. I can add, edit, and delete users on my subscription. I can do it one by one by clicking on the add user link. I just need a first name, a last name, email address. Department is what we call a custom field. So you can set it up so that you can track your users by a custom value, department or something else. You can set this up. There's a field or a form where you can set this up. And then I could select one of these values. And then for usage reporting, which I'll show in just a minute, I can navigate by those fields. Then I would select a location. This determines what content the customer or the user has. And then I can make them an administrator of one kind or another. I can also upload a bulk list of users, and we'll create those accounts on the fly. Either way you create them, each user will get an email letting them know an account was created for them, and they can log in and start accessing content in your subscription. Just being cognizant of time and wanting to have space for users, let's take a look at, or for questions, let's take a look at usage reporting. I have a couple of options. I have a dashboard. I have a heavy download report. This will let me know if any users have downloaded more than a certain number of documents. You can set that up. You don't have to set that up, but you can sort of keep an eye on how many documents your users are downloading. Let's take there's a login report. It'll show you who's logged in when. And then there's our legacy reporting with some older style reports that we still make available to our users. But let's take a look at the dashboard. It's going to give me a 30-day snapshot of usage on my subscription. It'll show me my top 6 users over the past 30 days, my top 6 documents, my top locations, only one here, this is a demo account, and my top publishers. If I want to drill down in more detail, I can select a term. We're going to look at year to date. View details, it loads in a separate tab. And it gives me much more detail on my usage. This is on-demand usage reporting to you. It updates as the system gets used, and you can use it at any given time. And it's going to be up to date. I have a chart here that I can download. I can take a look at a more detailed view. The chart goes away, but it breaks it down by user. If I wanted to take a look at my colleague's Sean usage, I could click on Sean's name and it's just going to pull up usage for Sean. And I could go down here and copy that data and paste it into a spreadsheet. If I wanted to drill down further and just look at API usage, I can click on API and it's going to limit to just API. Click on it again and it deselects. And again, if I click on Sean, it will deselect him. We have a variety of subscription settings. The ones that I want to key in on are custom field. So here you can set it up so that you have a custom field and that information gets tracked about your users. And you can create a list of menu options that people can select from, or you can allow them to enter freeform. But our recommendation is to set up a pull-down menu from which they can select the appropriate department or whatever type of information you're tracking with that feature. Then there's corporate key. This is another way for you to get users set up. You can give them a link here and set up a shared secret key, which is basically a password to create an account. And they can follow this link, fill out a form, and create their own account. Then they'll get an email that allows them to set up their password. So you don't even have to manage the process of getting your users set up. And that's particularly useful in especially large organizations. If you do that, we recommend you set up domains. This will allow you to limit the domains that users can use to create an account. So here you can only use an @techstreet.com email or an @clarivate.com email address to create an account. That stops users from using Gmail or Hotmail or Yahoo accounts to create accounts in your subscription. So that's really the highlights of administration. I did want to touch on the document repository feature set, adding and managing users, and usage reporting. I see we've had some questions or comments come through. I think this is when we're rolling into comments, but I could still go through more of administration if we've got extra time. Let's take a look at these questions.
Yeah, Mike, I think you have a couple more minutes if you had a couple more things to look at, and then maybe we can get Gabriel's help to translate some of these and answer.
Great, thank you, David. So let's go to configure custom metadata and drill in on this document repository ability to customize the metadata that's available to your users. So here I can add a new field. It can be project ID. And it can be a text field, a drop-down menu, or a date field. I'm just going to leave it as text, hit create, and now I can add a project ID to any document in the system. That project ID will be discoverable, searchable within the search interface for Techstreet Enterprise. I can also add external references. And we didn't talk about that, so let me highlight that real quick. But if I go back to an ASME document that I was looking at, we'll just pick this one right here. Because I'm a document administrator, I have this edit additional details button and create reference button. So I can create an external reference here. Let's say you had access to certain information about this document located elsewhere, like on a SharePoint site, and you wanted to put a link to it. You could do that here. Go to our SharePoint site for a document that analyzes the scan. Then I could add a URL. We'll pretend that's a SharePoint site and not yahoo.com, but it's creating the link. Now I see this go to SharePoint site for a document that analyzes this standard. Regular users won't see the edit reference button, but they'll see this external reference label and this text. If I click on it, it's going to open a new tab, take me to Yahoo or my SharePoint site or another website where I have information about this document. So it gives you a lot of options to really customize the experience and make it specific to the needs of your engineers and other standards users. Well, we've really covered everything that I think you need to see in administration. Unless David or Matt, can you think of something I haven't covered that you'd like me to cover?
That's good.
Put it on, Mike. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can have, if we have some time for, I think you covered everything, Mike. If we just have some time to answer some questions, I think Gabriel's been doing a really good job answering some of these as they've come across for us. so far, but please, anyone have any questions for us?
Hey, actually, there is one thing, Mike, while you're still sharing, and a question just came in about, it said if I look for an ASTM and can't find it, how can I request it? I didn't show that. Mike, do you want to show the requests for an admin?
Yes.
We have a couple of questions after this question. We have
Great. Let me just do a search here and I'll pull up something that isn't on my subscription and I'll show you how an administrator can request a subscription pricing on a document.
Yeah, while that's pulling up, we do a lot of add-ons for customers, and this comes back to the responsiveness of how fast we can get stuff added. So usually it's either within a day or 24 hours that we can get content added that's not part of your subscription, get it added to your subscription. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, so I'm not subscribed to this document as this notification suggests. And because I'm a purchase administrator, so you have to be a purchase administrator. There's a couple types of administrators you can be. And if you are a purchase administrator, you can request subscription pricing. If I click on this button, it's going to send a email to the sales consultant on your subscription. And that sales consultant will quickly turn around pricing for you on that document or set of documents that you might be requesting and email you with the information you need to make a decision on whether or not to add that document to your subscription. So that's the answer on that. What other questions do we have?
We have a question from Chile. What, I'll try to translate on the spot. What useful characteristics of Techstreet Enterprise would seem useful for a university? And then in the case that they're not able to subscribe, would they be able to keep the metadata for whatever they subscribed at that time?
That's okay. A couple good questions. So one thing that we didn't talk about was anonymous user access, and a lot of universities use that because it simplifies the access process, and they can search through the database, stuff that's on subscription and not on subscription. And we really do have a number of universities around the world who are accessing standards through Techstreet Enterprise. You know, if you license content from us, you can download a spreadsheet. I'll show you what that looks like because I touched on it briefly, but I didn't really go into detail. But this spreadsheet that I can download here has a whole bunch of metadata in it that you could use to create, say, a record in your library catalog if you wanted to for a given standard. And then the user could go to the page that's linked to through the spreadsheet and access the document details for that document.
Great, thank you. We have another question. This one's in Portuguese, meaning that the platform gives access. Sorry, I'm translating. Well, can you show, I believe you already showed part of it, but would you be able to show a usage report by user?
Sure.
This is a question from Brazil. We will follow up with them.
Let's see, let's do prior year to get the most data. All right, so it runs that report, usage by user. And here it gives me the user. And here's where that department, that custom field metadata comes into play. Not every user has a value, but it does show up if I want to take a look at it. So let's take a deeper dive. Let's take a detailed view. And here's your user. And I could click on research and development and download all the usage from that department if I wanted to somehow spread costs across departments, or just better understand what publishers, or excuse me, what departments in our organization are using standards the most, and what standards are they using.
Thank you. I'm going to switch to Spanish very quickly. 1 second.
Sure.
En caso de que tengan preguntas específicas, los invitamos también al virtual stand, al stand virtual de Techstreet, donde podrán tener acceso directo a el equipo de Techstreet para responder sus preguntas. En caso de que no las quieran hacer por este medio en este momento. Incluso también van a poder ver todo el alcance de contenido que ofrece Techstreet vía Techstreet Enterprise. Y si tienen otra pregunta, tenemos todavía unos 5 minutos con el equipo aquí presente de Techstreet. Okay, I think we don't have any more questions for the moment right now. I would like to thank the Techstreet team. It was an excellent presentation, very thorough, excellent introduction, I believe, and we greatly appreciate for your time. And then we will obviously forward all questions that we receive through the chat and going forward to you.
Gabriel, real quick, we did want to provide a promo code
Okay.
for anyone to put in any of the lead forms through our booth that would receive a 5% discount on subscription. So do you want me to show that slide right now? Just to
go right ahead.
Have a visual? Okay.
Por medio de esta presentación, Techstreet está ofreciendo un descuento del 5% utilizando el siguiente código que se tiene que mencionar. También se los haremos llegar vía el chat para aquellos que han participado. That's great. ITMS 5. Pueden ingresar a las páginas de Techstreet vía el virtual stand en la sala de exhibidores o expositores, y pueden incluso preguntarle directamente a Techstreet sobre información del material y utilizar este código. That's great, David. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And it was great to be part of this today. And if anyone wants more information, please reach out. Either, Gabriel, you're, I believe, a good contact, or anyone on Techstreet's team. We can answer any questions you guys have.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Excellent. Thank you for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.
Great to present the platform to everybody. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Gracias a todos.